Now it's time to bring back in my co-host, Jeff Small, along with our very good friend and special guest, Anthony Saccaro. He's a lawyer, but we won't hold that against him. But he's also president of Providence Financial, a retirement income store located just outside of LA. But Anthony is also the author of the upcoming brand new book, More Life Than Money, How to Not Outlive Your Savings. Anthony, love having you back on the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back.
So, you just heard this segment where Jeff and I are threatening to buy this RV together. And we'd love to have you in to split the RV three ways, except that he and I are 3 hours away from each other by RV ride, whereas, you're about a 5 or 6 hour plane trip. So I hope you're not offended that we've left you out of the RV deal. But, the reality is that our clients are making all kinds of changes to their retirement goals. It used to be, I want to travel to Europe with my spouse. I want to go out to dinner more often, but now things are changing. People are traveling in the country with things like RVs, and they're going on airplanes and staying in hotels less. People have gotten used in many cases to staying at home and eating. Even you shared with me, Anthony, that you've actually enjoyed the fact that over the last 5 months you've been able to eat healthier because you haven't gone out to dinner. So I'm sure you've seen it yourself. Your clients are having some of the same reactions and their goals are changing.
Yeah, 100%. I have taken advantage of this time period. Lost 30 or 35 pounds since COVID started. Started losing a little weight before then, but it certainly makes it easier because I'm not doing all the traveling, and that tends to be one of my weak spots. So staying at home has helped me move forward and shift my own goals. And a lot of clients have done the same thing. I've got clients that have taken advantage of this opportunity, clients that are even working out at home, clients that have eaten less and are losing weight as well. But there's the flip side. I also have clients that are actually getting a little bigger, clients that have not taken advantage of the opportunity, clients that are just really letting life happen to them. And because they're staying at home, they're watching more movies, there's less activity, they're eating more chips, and they're actually going the other direction. And
you mean like Jeff? You mean like Jeff?
Yeah, like Jeff, exactly. No, not like Jeff. Jeff looks great. But the simple fact is that my fear and what I've seen happen is that this is also translating into the financial world as well. We got a jolt with regards to the stock market, and it went down 37% in 37 days, and now it's come back. And what that's done is it's waken a lot of people up, and it's caused a lot of people to take action. It's caused a lot of people to change their paradigm and to quit being lazy, and they're actually making some moves that are going to help them in the future by shoring up their portfolios. But there are also a group of clients that are not. These are the wait and see clients that the jolt just kind of didn't do anything to them. They're sitting home on the couch watching their portfolios and not taking any action. And I think this is not the time to be lazy. This is the time to use this as a wake-up call to be more proactive, get in your portfolio, make sure that it will still accomplish your goals, and not just sit around and wait to see what happens. If you do that, I think there's probably going to be problems ahead. You're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah, Anthony, you're exactly right. And, that's a universal problem where we always educate people on the fact that they've got to take responsibility of their money. If they don't do that, then the opposite, a bad effect can happen on their funds. But the responsibility is on them to make sure that their portfolios are current and their needs are being met. I could not agree with you more on that.
And think about it, guys, every time somebody's goal changes even slightly, their plan needs to change to achieve that goal because you've moved the target. And even if it doesn't seem like it's moved very much, the target has moved. And I think people tend to be a little too complacent in setting a plan, and they think it's like, the set it and forget it type thing. And it's really not, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like tax planning. It's a moving target. It's something that needs to be revisited every year. Portfolio values change. The amount of income changes. So it is a moving target. You absolutely must plan continuously, and I'm going to suggest even vigorously. If you're in the younger generation and you want to take advantage of this, then that's going to require one type of plan. If you're a little bit older and you can't afford to risk your money, that's going to be a different plan. So you have to plan according to where you are. There's not one silver bullet. You have to plan according to your situation and your resources and the amount of risk that you can afford to take.
Yeah, and you also have to plan to make changes when the economy changes, when the markets change. And of course, even though the markets zoom back over the last few months, the reality is that the economy is different now. And that alone means a change for people, whether you're retired or not retired. So we need to take a quick commercial break here. Stay with us, Anthony, please, for this next segment. And you stay with us too. We have a lot more coming up right here on the Income Generation. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Income Generation. Dave Scranton, my co-host, and me would like to welcome again Anthony Saccaro, all the way from Los Angeles, our good friend on the West Coast. And Anthony, you've just written a book, and I can't wait to read it, but I want you to tell me, what are the two best lessons that consumers, retirees, and pre-retirees can learn from it, because it's titled More Life Than Money, How to Not Outlive Your Savings. So tell us, Anthony, is the title true to form, or are there other lessons in there that folks need to learn?
Well, the entire gist of the book is that what you don't know can hurt you, which is opposite of what we have heard. And when I go through the book, I talk about 10 or 12 things that people don't know about different aspects of retirement that can not only hurt them, but that can actually wreck their retirement. We talk about taking Social Security at the right time. We talk about investing for the right phase of life. We even talk about how to prepare yourself for long-term care expenses that could wipe out $1 million mistake just like that. So I think the first takeaway is that you really have to know. And my goal was to help give enough information to individuals to be able to go look a little bit deeper and learn what it is they don't know. And that's, I think, the first big takeaway. The second big takeaway is I just finished a chapter about COVID because I couldn't have a financial book come out in August, which is when it was supposed to come out, and not have this chapter. So the publishers graciously allowed me to go in and write this chapter. And we talk about what I think is going to be the potential outcome of COVID. Matter of fact, the chapter is called A Foretaste of the Aftermath of COVID. And the very last couple of paragraphs about from that chapter, as far as what you can do to prepare yourself, is become more educated. We live in the world today where education is not a problem. I don't care if you're interested in it or not. Go Google these things. Take control of your money. Take the bull by the horns. No one cares about your money as much as you do. So you have to become educated in order to protect yourself and in order to reestablish what you want your money to do for you and make sure that you're on the right path. And if you just don't have the wherewithal to do that, are not going to do that, find an advisor who's willing to educate you and not dodge all your questions. Ask as many questions as you want. So I think those are the two key takeaways from my book.
And Anthony, when's this book going to become available? What's your pub date?
Yeah, so I think we're going to actually get that this week, but I'm hearing somewhere in November is when it's going to become available.
November. Gee, you're going to have to rewrite and put another chapter in based upon the election results by November. That should be quite interesting. And I know that even though you're over there on the left coast, unlike most, I know you're hoping that things stay status quo in the Oval Office for another 4 years. So we'll be praying for the same here, Jeff and I. And thanks again for being back on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
All right, the show's not over yet. You stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment here on the Income Generation. We'll be right back.